Straight ahead on 12 News, a land dispute in Golden Valley heads to the Minnesota Supreme Court. Plus, the state coffers show a $1 billion budget surplus, so what will happen with the money? We ask local lawmakers. But first, a policy vote in Brooklyn Center on transgender high school athletes.
It's important to me that our trans youth feel like they are included.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. So many people showed up at the Minnesota State High School League office today in Brooklyn Center, there wasn't enough room for them all.
That's right. The overflow crowd was in response to a vote on transgender athlete participation in high school sports. Reporter Delane Cleveland was among those who packed into the league office. He has more on the vote. Delane?
And Mike and Shannon, on a near unanimous decision, the Minnesota State High School League Board voted to implement a policy that now lays out a process on how to determine the eligibility of a transgender student who wants to play high school sports. It's a decision that was months in the making, and it wasn't made lightly. This morning in Brooklyn Center, about 150 people came loaded with signs and plenty of opinions on the transgender policy. From state lawmakers concerned with who's making this decision.
When you have major issues of high controversy, I believe it is best solved in the legislature under the direct accountability of the legislative process.
To parents concerned about what it could mean for girls' sports.
If my girls want to play high school sports, this policy forces them to compete with transgender girls that are biological boys with all the inherent potential physical advantages.
To people who identify themselves as transgender.
Transgender people are not some large, widespread cult of child molesters. We have no more interest in seeing your naked daughter in a shower room than any other person who is not transgender.
After taking public comment,
this policy simply is a policy for a transgender male to female.
The board members weighed in.
Is this workable?
We have done due diligence on this policy. This is, I believe, the 8th or 9th draft of this policy.
Ultimately, 18 of the 20 board members voted to approve the policy. The decision, however, drew scorn from some.
The issue in my mind is my daughter safe in the locker room. Can I stop a male from walking in my daughter's locker room? And this policy does not protect her.
Yet in the end, the ayes have it.
I think Minnesota definitely took a big step forward. I'm proud to be living in Minnesota.
Well, going forward, a transgender student's eligibility to play on a high school sports team would be done through an appeals process that is overseen by the Minnesota State High School League. The policy goes into effect in the 2015-2016 school year. Mike?
All right, thank you, Delane. When lawmakers go back to St. Paul in about a month, they'll have a nice financial cushion to build a budget on. The Minnesota Management and Budget Office is predicting a $1 billion budget surplus. Local lawmakers have different opinions on what to do with it. Incoming Maple Grove Representative Dennis Smith says it's a sign taxes are too high.
The luxury that St. Paul has with a budget right now is not the same luxury that all the families in Minnesota has right now. And I think that we need to recognize that when the state government taxes go up, or when the revenues go up, that it means that that revenue comes from the citizens of Minnesota. So I think there needs to be some reform in taxes.
For the funding that's available there, I'd certainly like to see more investment in early childhood education, investment in transportation, further college relief. I mean, those are the sorts of things I spoke about during the campaign.
The lawmakers we spoke with say the surplus should help get the session off to a smooth start.
A Crystal man assaulted at a New Hope bar has died from injuries to his brain. John Hillstrom was assaulted in June at Outtakes Bar and Grill. He died Sunday while in hospice care. Hillstrom was 36 years old. The Star Tribune reports that a Minneapolis man has been charged with second-degree unintentional murder in the case, but the suspect's whereabouts are currently unknown.
A local mom who crashed her car with 5 small children inside will serve 30 days in the Hennepin County Workhouse. Marion Garrido of Maple Grove crashed into a St. Louis Park retention pond last year, setting off a massive rescue effort. 2 of the children died. Garrido will serve time for not having the children restrained in car seats and for not having a driver's license.
A land dispute involving a Golden Valley restaurant will now head to the Minnesota Supreme Court. The owner of Good Day Café filed a lawsuit last year claiming he didn't get a fair shot to buy state-owned land next to his restaurant. That land near Interstate 394 is slated to become a senior living complex. Because of the lawsuit, the project has been delayed. The Minnesota Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments next month. A new study sheds light on the growing number of homeless youth.
As of November 15th, 576 students in the Anoka-Hennepin School District were identified as homeless. The nonprofit Hope for Youth is trying to find permanent shelter for young people. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how.
When they first come in, they fill out an intake, and it kind of explains exactly what their needs are.
Hope for Youth Drop-In Center is the only one of its kind in the North Metro.
And this is where they gather and where they eat.
Here, homeless kids can get a warm shower.
We have a wait list where they can come in and they sign up for the shower.
There's also a clothes closet.
Hygiene.
And bags of essentials kids can take on the go.
Pillow. Towel.
John Sitzars is the Hope for Youth fundraising chair.
Every day is a new day here. Every day we got new kids coming in.
The drop-in center has only been in business for 18 months, but already they've seen more than 450 kids come through the doors.
Every night I go to bed, you just worry about them.
The center is only open until 7 at night.
We got to see the kids leave and walk into the darkness of night, knowing that they're going to sleep in tents.
This video was taken 2 weeks ago of homeless youth fending for themselves on the cold streets.
Last May, when they ended the school year, there were 920 young people identified as experiencing homelessness in the Anoka-Hennepin School District alone.
So they can come in.
Hope for Youth wants to offer more options.
We have shoes here for them, school supplies.
They're trying to raise $1 million by January 1st.
We have it all prepared, set up for them.
To build more permanent housing.
If I can raise this $1 million, that will be able to buy the property, fix it up, staff it for a year.
They say if they don't get the funds, young homeless kids in the North Metro will continue to struggle.
Let's get these kids a place where they can call home for now. These kids don't want to be homeless. They just want to be loved.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
If Hope for Youth doesn't reach $1 million by January 1st, the fundraising chair says he'll sleep outside with homeless youth until they get the funds. We've got information at 12.tv if you would like to help. Still ahead, we head to Heritage Christian Academy to meet this week's standout student.
And then later in sports, the Maple Grove wrestling team prepares for a big week early in the season.
But first, we thaw out slightly on Friday. Temperatures are expected to rise above freezing. Leadership skills were the name of the game today in Golden Valley.
That's right. Students from Robbinsdale area schools attended the annual Youth Summit, which celebrates 20 years this year.
That it's just important to love each other and that we're all different and appreciate that, and that's okay.
That's Tatiana Reed. She participated in the Youth Summit years ago. She came back to lead sessions for more than 150 middle school students. The day-long workshop focused on listening, storytelling, community service, and team building. Organizers say they focused on making the sessions more interactive.
I decided that this was going to be a party and a celebration of youth, their development, and their leadership skills.
After the summit, students worked together to create a service project unique to their school or community. There are some students who seem to instinctively know which direction they're going.
That's the case with one Heritage Christian Academy senior. Neil Persley introduces us to standout student Michaela Lean.
When I went to Heritage Christian Academy to find out more about Michaela Lean, one word stood out in my mind.
Really compassionate person.
And that's a very good way of describing this senior who wants to pursue a career in nursing.
Well, for me to have a job that, I find fulfillment at the end of the day and that I did something that could benefit other people other than myself.
So it was no surprise that Michaela's favorite class is anatomy and physiology.
She's concerned for others.
Jackie Zaki instructs Michaela in both her AP college level environmental science class as well as her anatomy and physiology course.
She is not quick to jump in and kind of make a quick or a hasty answer. And oftentimes that's just the extra time that's needed to really think something through and come up with a better answer.
In addition to her academics, Michaela serves as a mentor to two younger girls.
Michaela's someone I can look up to, I can go to her if I need to talk about anything.
They ask me questions about anything from life to the teachers, talking about teachers, boys, homework load.
Michaela is also an accomplished athlete, serving as captain on her basketball, volleyball, and softball teams.
She's has a servant heart. She works hard. She's dedicated to her teammates.
Michaela credits her teachers with giving her the support that's enabled her success.
They're all role models to us, leaders in Christ.
Michaela's selfless and compassionate nature are intangible but important qualities.
You don't see that in pencil and paper. Those aren't things that you're going to see or record in a grade book.
In Maple Grove, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
Michaela and the Heritage Christian Academy Eagles kicked off their basketball season this week with a win against Breck. So very good for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Still ahead, what you do after a long, grueling campaign for governor.
You break out the trombone, of course. We'll show you coming up in a few minutes. But first in sports, the Park Center girls basketball team steps into a new season after winning a state title last winter. Jay Wilcox is in next.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. It'll be tough to top last season for the Park Center girls basketball team. The Pirates not only reached the state tournament for the first time, they won the Class 3A title. And what a game it was in the championship. The Pirates beat Marshall 73-71 in triple overtime to take that title. Park Center graduated Top Gun Kayla McMorris, who is now playing for Wisconsin, but pretty much everyone else is back this season. They know it's a new season and nothing's been won yet, but there's no denying this should be a very good team again.
I mean, obviously Kayla was the biggest player on our team. It's hard not having her this year, but I mean, we're obviously going to do good. We can play without her. We just got to learn how to play together, and I think we'll be good without her. We just got to learn what to do on the court.
It's something that we have to go get again this year. Like, it's not going to be given to us, and we know just because we won it last year doesn't mean, well, it means it's up for grabs for anyone this year.
Senior captains Hannah Schaub and McKenna Dubois are back. Schaub missed the postseason run with a knee injury, but has been cleared to play to start this season. A loaded sophomore class that includes post player Michaela Hayes, Bashayo Ayobamadelli, Ann Simonette, and Danielle Schaub will make this a strong team for years to come. The Pirates know they're in for some tough tests in the mostly Class 4A Northwest Suburban Conference, especially after winning that title.
They're obviously a class harder than us when coming to sections, so it's nice playing those like hard, tough teams and then going down to our section, and they're also more tough teams, but we've been playing it the whole season.
You have to understand what it means to play hard every day, play at the same level every day, because the teams who are coming in are going to be playing their best game of the year every night. And so that is a thing that you have to become accustomed to, and that we have some growing up in that area to do, definitely.
And a reminder, you can watch the Pirates season opener at Rogers live Thursday night at 7:15 on Channel 12 and 12.tv, or catch the replays Friday night at 7 or Saturday morning at 10. Unlike Park Center's girls, the Osseo boys basketball team has a lot of new faces in the lineup 1 year after playing in the state tournament. Only Elliott Kane and Alan Anderson return among players who saw a lot of court time last winter for Tim Tyson's Section 5 4A championship team. It's a team without a lot of size or a lot of varsity experience, but the Orioles do have speed.
Yeah, there's for sure a lot of talent. I mean, we have a lot of athletes on the junior varsity team and the sophomore team coming up that can really defend and score the ball. So we had a lot of good players on those teams last year that are going to come up and try to make an impact for a varsity team this year.
Well, I can tell already that we're going to be a faster team than what we've been in the past. We are going to be looking to kind of apply more full court pressure. And I can see that youth and that energy kind of come out in some of the drills.
The Orioles are 1-1 so far, losing to Buffalo before beating Park Center by 20 points Tuesday night. The Orioles are at home to face Irondale Friday night. The Maple Grove wrestling team is showing some promise this season. They have a very big week. The Crimson started the season by winning the Belgrade Bruton El Rosa tournament. They face arch rival Osseo tonight, Thursday, and then host a 12-team tournament on Saturday. It's early, but it's still a notable stretch.
It is, yeah, it is an exciting week. I mean, we got a lot of seniors here this year, and being our last year, you know, we're going to be excited coming for Osseo, and then our tournament Saturday.
The Crimson returned 5 state entrants, Brad Osachuk and Theo G., Jack Herbes, Jebba Doe, and Logan Dick. That solid core has the Crimson optimistic about the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for his team. I think there were three people from last season that aren't here anymore, but
other than that, I think it's about the exact same team.
Yeah, it's definitely a veteran group. We got a lot of seniors, a lot of good juniors, and some tough sophomores, but a lot of guys who have been here for a number of years, so they kind of know what's going on, and they're already back into their routine here, so it's a good thing.
We'll have highlights of the Osseo Maple Grove match Friday at 4 on 12 News. And bad news for for Hopkins boys basketball. Amir Coffey out with a serious knee injury, might miss the rest of the season.
All right, change things up there. Thanks, Jay. Still ahead, something to put on your calendar for this weekend.
A special musical performance in Golden Valley when we come back. Playing traditional songs and contemporary tunes, Calvary Lutheran Church in Golden Valley is hosting its annual Christmas concert this Sunday. The concert has a theme. It's titled, I Need a Silent Night, named after Amy Grant's Christmas hit. Music director Dan Oy says it's more of a pop-style concert.
We use a contemporary worship band, and so they're part of the orchestra here as well. And so they are engaged, so you'll hear guitars and jazz sax.
65 choir singers and 35 orchestra players are all part of the concert, including recent gubernatorial candidate Jeff Johnson. Yes, that's him right there on the trombone. There are 2 shows at 3:30 and 6 p.m. this Sunday at Calvary Lutheran Church. Tickets are $12 in advance or $15 at the door, and we'll have more information on our website at 12.tv. And I did not know that Jeff could do the trombone like that.
Sounds pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Good for him.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow at 4.